First, we'll just briefly talk about the market because it really correlates and plays well into the problem and the problem that we're trying to solve here at Orange. Obviously, everyone is aware of the excitement, the hype, the potential, as well as the value of Bitcoin and blockchain itself. As we've seen here, especially over the past few years and more recently, there's been tons of more interest, not at the consumer level, but also with institutions as well, right? So different corporations starting to even invest their treasuries into it, building around just the technology itself, as well as obviously all this momentum with the ETF applications, et cetera. So we haven't even started this new bull run cycle yet, but we're starting to see a lot of experimentation with builders as well as just projects launching new protocols and standards on Bitcoin. And so we anticipate at Orange the next 2 years to be extremely exciting. Now, the problem that exists in the market today is, as mature as Bitcoin is, there's still a lot of huge opportunities and gaps that exist between where the technology is today versus the companies that actually have, infrastructure to support it. And so for us at Orange, what we are is a infrastructure layer as well as a DeFi ecosystem specifically focused on Bitcoin and all the associated protocols. So as a lot of you have probably already seen, there's been tons of building and energy and excitement happening around DeFi on Bitcoin, including a lot of new protocols such as ARC20s, SRC20s, even CBRC20s. The problem is when you think about the infrastructure that supports a lot of this experimentation and building, there's not a lot of household names. So when we looked at the market a couple of years ago, we saw that as an opportunity for us to be able to provide infrastructure specifically for all of this that's occurring now. So we've started off building our wallet in order to be able to help users just manage their Bitcoin and those associated protocols. Our Orange wallet currently supports not only Bitcoin, but BRC20s, Ordinals, and even stacks. We're currently building more support for other protocols as well, including some future projects that include there's a lot of L2s, as we've seen here on this particular call, as well as a lot of other companies looking to build L2s on Bitcoin. And we certainly want to support those as well. And as all of these new protocols and L2s come about, there's going to be hundreds of tokens that are launched on each one of these standards. And we want our Orange wallet to be the leading provider for those assets to be managed. We also have a DEX that we're building out as well. Similar to our wallet, it'll support the same protocols, including the L2s. Currently, it supports Ordinals, not Ordinals, BRC20s and stacks, but we're expanding that. And we have ambitions to be able to make that cross-chain and interoperable with even ERC20s in the future. Data is actually a big component for us. And so not only are we building out kind of an equivalent to what you would have with CoinMarketCap, but specifically for Bitcoin, but we're actually leveraging this data to be able to serve a number of different purposes. One is to be able to leverage all of this data within our own platforms, including our wallet, which has an integrated AI assistant. And we envision an experience where any user could be able to ask for information regarding the industry and be able to have that at their fingertips, right? Whether it's the 24-hour trading volume of a specific token, you should be able to easily access that information. And by having this data service, we can certainly self-fulfill that. We also want to have a strong B2B model as well, in which we actually serve this data to not only projects, but even institutions in the future. So our Orange Market Cap platform is our strategy to be able to accomplish that as well. So as it exists today, if you look at the Orange ecosystem, again, we focus on DeFi for Bitcoin. We're leading with these 3 products. We also have some additional tools that we're going to be releasing here in terms of our roadmap in the future. And that includes a bridge in order for people to be able to convert their assets to maybe a different preferred chain depending on their preferences. And then we also have ambitions to be able to launch some other tooling to be able to just support a lot of this energy in this space. All of our platforms, non-custodial, they're decentralized, and they're private and anonymous. And this is a core value and tenet of ours because we certainly want to never have access or custody to any funds on any of our platforms. We want and support the ethos of blockchain itself and users being able to have sovereign custody and manage their own wealth. And so we think that this is certainly something that is important and something that we want to align and support with as well. We do have a business revenue model, and at present that exists in a number of different areas, right? So whether it's the wallet or the DEX, we do ascertain and obtain fees, via exchange fees as well as on-ramp and off-ramp fees. We do have providers that help us in some of those areas, including the fiat on-ramps. But on top of that, we capture a slight margin and spread. And we will, through our data service, also provide an API where projects could be able to obtain the data and use that for their own benefit, for their own projects, tooling, et cetera. And for large use cases where there's extensive usage of that data, we have a revenue model or stream that allows us to be able to capture that on a monthly basis. So if we look at the roadmap in general, as I mentioned, the items here, we are going to be releasing our Orange wallet in the next month. We're actually in progress of having the wallet being audited by Hacken, and post-audit, then we're going to be allowing our community to audit the code itself as well, and then proceed with a public launch. From there, we're going to be introducing a soft staking program in order to be able to have loyalty rewards for our holders. And then, as I mentioned, we have Orange Swap and then our Orange market cap that we'll be releasing as planned right now in the first half of the year. We do have a token. It's a BRC20 token. It's called Orange for simplicity. The symbol, as many people probably understand, for BRC20 tokens, it's limited to 4 characters. Ours is ORNJ, short for orange as well. And as an update, we actually released it yesterday. We were able to line up with a number of liquidity partners to be able to help us bring it to market, including 3 different launch pads, and we're already listed on 4 centralized exchanges. So we're very excited to be able to introduce and have liquidity on the market and for people to join us on our journey. Real quick, if we talk about our team, it's something I'm extremely proud of. 1, because of our experience, our credentials and background, but then 2, we've also been working for quite some time in this space. So I myself, I've always been focused more on the business side, but I've worked 17 years at Microsoft, and then following that, I've been a founder in this space in blockchain for the past 7 years. Our CTO, I've been working with him for, I think, about 8 years now, and he has experience. He's a full stack dev, great at architecture and infrastructure, has experience at Amazon, and then we also have another strong lead that helps us focus primarily on blockchain and is not only a full stack dev, but focuses solely kind of in the areas of Solidity development, has experience working at Oracle as well. Our team is very small, but we're a global group of 7 currently, mostly engineering folks, and very, very proud of our team. And we're distributed, but we have a concentration in the US, and then we also have folks in Turkey, China, and India. So at a high level, that's Orange. We're certainly excited to be able to work alongside of a lot of not only the builders here on this call, I noticed a number of partners, but then also just helping expand this space as well, right? Obviously, Bitcoin is the gold standard. We're happy to be a part of helping bring folks into the industry and supporting them alongside their journey in blockchain, and really excited about the potential of what's about to come.
Damon, thank you for that presentation. It was fantastic. I appreciate you taking the time. Oh, Kai's back as well.
Yes, my folks, my apologies for the inconvenience. I had some problems with my network. However, got a new connection, so hopefully this works out. Damon, I believe you just wrapped up your showcase.
Yeah, we did.
Unfortunately, missed it. Yet I'm here for the questions, so let's see if our judges have a few coming up. Not yet. However, I also do have a few from my side. So let me grab my document and get into it. I can already start the first one. How do you incentivize users to engage with Orange and the whole ecosystem you have built around it?
Yeah, great question. So, one of the reasons why we have, or part of our strategy is to pull people into our ecosystem and then from there build trust with them, by providing a great experience, providing the data that they need or information that they need. And then from there, ultimately acquiring them as a user onto other products, primarily our wallet, right? Our wallet is kind of our core focus. And that's where we want to center a lot of our attention to. So even as we look at some of our other products, such as Orange Market Cap or even the DEX, the strategy there is to be able to use those as supplementary tools so that, let's say maybe you're an existing um, user on a competitive wallet. From there, we can build trust with you through our other platforms and then acquire you and have you join and become a loyal Orange Wallet user. Alongside that, not only with marketing, but we do have some creative user acquisition campaigns that we'll be doing in order to be able to just attract more users into the platform. So for example, what we've seen as very effective in this space over the past few months, obviously with what people have done with airdrops or some of these quests, such as Portal and whatnot, we have our own campaigns where we want to incentivize people to be able to leverage and use the wallet themselves through a series of quests. And so we are planning to launch, some surprise drops and things like that to be able to attract people into the wallet, which would require you to install the wallet, which would encourage you to perhaps not only just post and tweet, but then also maybe make a transaction such as depositing funds into the wallet. And then from there, they may be eligible for a free mint on an Ordinals collection, for example. So really some creative things like that in order to just draw people into the ecosystem, because data has found that once people kind of adopt a wallet per se or move funds into it, they tend to stay on it for quite a bit of time.
Understood. Thanks for clarifying. I see also our community has a few questions, so let's get into that. Vincent asks, given that it's a consumer-facing revenue business, is there a revenue share with Orange holders? Will some revenue go to pool rewards, for example?
Yeah, great question. So we've actually thought about this long and hard. We haven't made a decision on it yet, and part of that is for two reasons. One, for legal reasons, because once you start introducing revenue and you start sharing that with holders, that puts us in an entirely different legal bucket. And we always focus on being compliant to make sure that our holders as well as the business is protected, et cetera. So we are considering that, but we will have to kind of navigate that to make sure that we're in the clear there. And then two, it is something that we are highly interested in as well. And it's something we want to continue to get more feedback from our community upon. The other angle that we've thought about is potentially leveraging that revenue to maybe do token buybacks, and then from there, using those as loyalty rewards for stakers. And so, I think there's some ways for us to be able to leverage that revenue creatively and be able to, reward our holders on that.
Amazing. That's great to hear that you take these compliant issues quite seriously, and an interesting mechanism. And for the Degans among us to have some buyback mechanisms in the future potentially. I see also Truth Seeker from our community as a question. We all noted that you had yesterday an amazing token launch on many, many exchanges. And Truth Seeker asked the general question, how many exchanges are in the pipeline, and when Binance?
Yeah, everyone wants to know when the Holy Grail is going to come aboard. Unfortunately, I can't comment on some of those specifically, but what I will say is, what I'm extremely proud of is the fact that we've always wanted to make sure that there's deep liquidity and deep accessibility for anyone. And what we do know, obviously, all of us know that dealing with BRC20 tokens and Bitcoin can be very challenging. Um, Crypto is already confusing, but when you kind of couple that, especially with BRC20s and ordinals, becomes the bar becomes a little higher, even for folks that are very experienced in the space, because you have to deal with inscriptions and then doing multiple activities twice just to even do a send transaction. So for us, we wanted to make sure that we simplified that as much as possible, and so that's one of the reasons why we opted to have so much or so many exchanges available on day one. Two, we also thought that that was a strong signal for our holders to be able to let them know that liquidity is not only important to us, but also making sure that that experience is much easier than just having it on decentralized marketplaces. We are in talks with a number of exchanges right now, including all the big players, Bybit, KuCoin, OKX, and other names as well. I will say we have some planned and on deck. We will be onboarding more in the future. As far as timelines are concerned, we don't even know, quite frankly, but our interest is to be able to onboard and get them to support Orange as soon as possible.
Thank you for elaborating on that. And well, you have already a DEX, a wallet that's being tested. And can we also have these DEX functionality in your wallet?
Yeah, so it'll actually be integrated into the wallet as well. And, when we think about our wallet itself, we obviously want it to do its core functions and features that everyone expects, right? So be able to leverage a seed phrase, manage your assets, be able to send, receive safely, no issues. But on top of that, we want to incorporate additional services so that it's all in one experience. And if you want to either swap, it's available inside the wallet very easily. Even if you want to lend assets, we want to be able to support that as well. And so we're not going down that path ourselves, but we're working with a number of different partners that are very focused on that and great providers, including Liquidium, et cetera. And so we're going to bring a lot of that functionality into the wallet so that it just provides more value-added services for our not only our holders, but the users as well. So yeah, people can definitely look forward to that, and even more integration with our own products in our ecosystem. For example, we're going to be releasing our bridge here. Our targeted is early March, and that'll be integrated into the wallet as well, so people can do that again seamlessly in one experience.
Oh, that's exciting news. Thank you so much. I have one more question coming up from myself. So security remains quite a big hot topic and a challenge in the DeFi ecosystem. How do you tackle against these security gaps?
Yeah, great question. So, the beauty of Bitcoin and why we're so optimistic about its potential. One, if you think about it from a security perspective, there's no other chain that's more secure, in our opinion, right? And so we don't have some of the same challenges as maybe some of these alt chains or these alternative networks such as Ethereum and so on, where there requires a heavier lift when you release a product because of the smart contracts and the amount of programming and custom development that goes into a lot of these solutions. So even when you look at just our simple token itself, right, it operates on Bitcoin, the blockchain, and there's not much else. You can't alter it, right? And so from that perspective, it's the most secure in that space. Now, when we look at our own products and dApps in our ecosystem, we have kind of a programmatic approach when it comes to security and deployment. So we do our own extensive testing as well, obviously with our own test cases, and then we go through our own audit process. From there, we engage a third-party auditor For example, I mentioned earlier, we're doing an audit with Hacken. And then after that, we open it up to the community, and we have kind of a bug bounty, if you will. So the community could actually provide a second set of eyes into it. And then from there, our ambitions for all of our products is actually to release everything, once it's ready from a competitive standpoint, to make sure that it's all open source, that everyone has access and can even contribute to the code as they see fit as well. So that's kind of our approach and our standard when it comes to security. Obviously, there's no silver bullet. Even an audit won't protect you from, every use case possible in there. But we think that at a minimum, that's what every project should be doing in order to just safeguard their holders, their users, their community.
I totally agree. At least it's great to hear that you tackle these issues on many fronts. And considering everything, we're also out of time. So Damon, thank you so much for being again with us. And I'm looking forward to shape you up the Ordinals ecosystem. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having us. And as always, thank you for all your support, and go Bitcoin. Yeah.